All right, The Free Fall, which is currently streaming on Hulu, much like the last film we just reviewed. So we got two Hulus back to back. A drama horror mystery. After attempting to take her own life, a young woman must wrestle with an overbearing husband. Um, hmm. Overbearing husband, I guess. That's kind of later on, but
Hmm.
whatever. Now, this movie has Sean Ashmore, not his brother from Lock and Key. Uh, they are the same person. They're
They
just
look
fucking like collecting double paychecks.
so freaking similar. It's crazy.
It's legit
But
crazy.
it's like they have like the same haircut and they wear, like they wear that the same way, and that really I think affects. Like if one of them had different styled hair, it would at least, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got to be so bizarre to be a twin. I mean, you're both of your daughters came out and they were like, we don't want to look like another person. Like they were both kind of like starting to realize that as they get older, people are going to have a harder and harder time potentially telling them apart. It's
I have
weird.
identical twins in case you're new to the
Yes.
channel. Anyway, so this movie has Mark Center in it for about, I don't know, 5 minutes. And it's funny because we watched Monstrous tonight with Christina Ricci, and the director of that has worked with Mark Center in multiple films. And it was interesting to watch a film that kind of guest spots Mark Center in it. And then we watched the movie that a guy who's worked with him on multiple films and he didn't pop up. This if you were like you're gonna watch these three films in a row and Center is gonna pop up in one, I would definitely think it would be the guy who's directed him in multiple films. But
Mm.
uh, yeah, no, not this time. So all right, now here's a film that's really interesting because this is a film that feels pretty generic and cookie cutter for the first 45 minutes or so. Then the film starts to take a visual turn and things start to get really weird. Very, like, I don't want to say, I'll just say out there,
Mm.
right? And that's where the film starts to really kind of turn the corner and start to become much better. And in the end, this film is able to pull something off that puts a complete new spin on a very tired subgenre,
Yes.
right? And I think that's where this film greatly succeeds.
Yes.
And I really wish the first 45 minutes was better and more engaging because this could have been fucking awesome. But it's not fucking awesome. It just has a fucking awesome ending that completely redefines the kind of film that it is and puts it within a subgenre that I typically am not a big fan of because of how tired and played out that it is. Right? So that kind of turn is what greatly saved this film for me and ended up making me pretty high on it at the end, but it's really only because of that last 45 minutes when things start to get really trippy, and that's like during the dinner scene on. Like everything from there is really good,
Yes.
right? And everything before that feels pretty generic to that point. I was just kind of like going through the motions. I wasn't really connecting with anybody. I was just trying to kind of guess what was happening. We were kind of lazily throwing out some like guesses on like, it's probably just gonna be, you know.
Sure.
But I don't know. I don't know how you feel. Let's find out.
Well, I love the film, but I do think that a lot of it has to do with the new take on the subgenre, which is something like a subgenre that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Even though it is pretty worn out, but I just find it like a very scary one. And I've always been like that. So seeing this perspective on it, like, really was very cool for me. But I think you're right. I think ultimately the opening isn't as cool as it could be, but I still was fine with it. I think that there's some really cool throughout the film, and especially in the second half, the visuals get really great. But I think that even in the beginning, there's some decent ones that I quite enjoyed. And I think that the acting from the lead actress is pretty on point the whole film too. So I was like invested in her in the beginning and then got super invested in the second half. But yeah, I don't know. I've never, obviously, neither of us have seen this interpretation, done. So it was really exciting to see it.
Yeah, I think that this film would benefit, and I've said that a decent amount lately, but I think this film would benefit from a second watch because
I think so too.
I think you'll be looking for things and it'll be more engaging on that second viewing, looking for clues to that.
Yes.
Right? What that thing is. And I hate to be cryptic here and have people being like, just tell us what it is. We can't.
We can't. You gotta watch it.
You gotta watch the movie. It literally is revealed in the last like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We just couldn't do that. But I do think it's worth a view. And, you know, if the twist doesn't work for you, then oh well. I think it's still worth giving it a chance.
Yes.
You know, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's fine. But it really worked for us. And it was kind of like when it was revealed, it was like, oh, this is something I've always wanted to see depicted.
Yeah.
Right? So that's cool. And I don't know. I can't say a lot more.
I know. You really can't. It's just, you should check it out. We both recommend it.
Yeah.
For the twist, you know, above all else.
Yeah. And it's on Hulu. It's only got a 4.5 on IMDb. I'm going to assume probably half the people who watch this shut it off before it even got there. Right? Like,
seems really low for that.
Because, I mean, IMDb is such a bad gauge.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I go to it because it's easy. And I'm always just, like, dumbfounded. But you never can tell, man. I mean, IMDb is a really tough one to navigate. I've seen a lot of the movies we really enjoyed this year are in the 4s.
Sure.
And it's like, fuck, man, this is really just like not a good gauge anymore.
But then there's a plenty that we like have tried to watch or have watched that we hate that are like in the 3s.
Well, the 3s are almost always shit. But we've seen a decent amount of movies in the 5s that we didn't like.
That's true.
So you never know. But regardless, I think this one's definitely worth a try. Yes. You know, and stick it out because I think it's got a cool enough ending that you're going to be like, well, I'm glad they at least went for that. Even if it doesn't land with you, you've got to respect the ambition because it's a cool twist. It's a cool twist and it adds something to a subgenre I'm not a huge fan of. So, that's that.
That's that.
All right. Let us know. It's on Hulu. Bye.
Bye.